And we are back. Hey, Weedy. Weedy is the monster encyclopedia. Here we can stable our enemies. Notice we only have 4 beds total. That's the total number of monsters we can store in the stable. Anyway, here we are. Let's go see what all the shops are about. She forgot her name already. Might as well. Fusion results. Cyclone and a Wump will produce a Cyclone. She's occasionally useful to consult, but not often. That's better. Mike had to be slightly repositioned. Let's go see what this diffuser guy and his two other friends. Aiken. We're here to buy. Or maybe we're here to sell. Ah, we can buy monsters from him. You can buy some basic from him. And notice they're pretty cheap as well. We don't need any other monsters. But we can also sell monsters. And I need to start remembering to do that every time. We could sell an egg. Eggs are significantly more better than regular monsters. And, sadly, Wump, you gotta go as well. And we can make some money this way. It's always handy to keep them in eggs. Remember, you can always warm them up later. I need to remember to start lowering the volume. Probably it's going to be a pain for when anyone watches the VOD. Cat! They have cats in this world. Apparently we were very mischievous when we were kids. How we got 100 frogs? Who knows? I don't. And the general store. You get to buy my stuff. Yeah, pretty much junk. Ice Wand's actually worth a lot. Skin Deeps, or all the orbs. The Tuma Seed, Medi Herb. Remember, everything has a price. And that's a good 3,000 gold. And let's see what he has for sale. Let's see, he has basically nothing. So, we have our 5 items. Which sadly means you can only take in 3 familiars. Well, let's see what Nico about this project. 50, 100,000. Go for it. I might as well contribute something. 1,000. And yeah, she does actually keep track of that number. And yeah, it does impact the location. Everything here. Very slowly. Starting to look up. I'm here to buy. If he's here to sell. If he has a... Okay, he does have a good Bronzio and a good Oak Leaf, so we might as well pick up both of those. Because that's better than what we have. So I'm here to sell. You can probably do better than these. Well, that's done. So we've got a better sword and shield. That's always good. What's in this house? I forget. More random NPCs. Wishes there was something better to eat. Yeah, that would be a bit truthful. Well, let's see what's going on at... Oh, Gosh is in. I'm a scoundrel! Ooh! She is, but she's also a bit rude. Now, they keep mentioning Ms. Selfie. She is, at least in the PlayStation 1 version, one of the possible romantic interests, the only one that I'm aware of for sure in this game. We've just been in the tower once, and we're already growing up. This is very frightening. Very frightening. Anyway, here's a, improvement place. You say that. Hello, Tonka. 10,000. We don't quite have 10,000 on us. But that's something to keep in mind. We can make our house bigger. This is handy. It increases the stable size and everything. Well, nothing for it, but back in the tower. Ah, there. Speak of the devil. Hi, Selfie. You have giant eyes. She's a sorceress. She's awfully self-filled. Let's put it that way. Anyway, Octos. And Cyclone. Notice how it's automatically equipped our weapons? This is a very handy feature this game has. And you get to... No. That's not at all. Your forms are out of order, you guys. This game has a tendency to occasionally do this rather annoying habit. Oh well. These first few floors are only for basic items anyway. Basic items and just some basic enemies to train up the weak enemies on. And yourself. Because as said before, you start out at level 1. And wind gems, they're not the worst things in the world. I mean, they sell for 100 gold a pop. Which is not great. You really want orbs if you can help it. Orbs are really where the money lies, as you saw. And the coin drops. They're not bad. Now if we can only find the exit. Or find some sand, that's helpful too. Can never tell where that entrance is gonna be. More red sand. Sand is never useful to keep around. It really isn't. And we just got a double Bronzio, so we're doing pretty good so far. I can now see the monsters. If we go to the map, we can see that currently only one monster has spawned. That will change. See, monsters do try and get in the formation you put them in. So that is a bit of a helpful feature. Now, we don't have any Vita Seeds on us. So that's going to be handy to pick up because as both Cune, geez, that's going to be an awful name to try and pronounce, has said, yeah, and I've said multiple times as well, MP is useful for the monsters. Though, as long as they're not wumps, we should be fine. What's this half seed? It's useful for enemies. Enemies, like most monsters apparently, are... You throw something at them, they eat it. And what egg is this? Another cutesy. Which is either an octo or a wump. Sadly enough. There's nothing else it could be. At least according to the, There's actually not a lot of information on this particular version of the game. Run number 2, and you see it keeps track of how many runs you've made. It's not handy, but it is a thing. Ooh, an Alcaray. Now this is a useful item. Especially at the later floors. All your items then become the money drops, which... If there's a lot of items on that floor, you can make bank. I mean, for one, you get to pick up every item, which is phenomenal. Okay. Octo... Ah, see, these guys have skills. They can make anorexic, not anorexic. I was hoping that was a projectile shot, but it was not. More pennies. This is basically how the game goes. It's the basic flow of the game. You make money, you donate money, you spend money. It's actually pretty entertaining. Especially if you have a lot of time in your hands as you do when you're kids. When you're a kid. Now, generally, you're not going to want 3 monsters. 2 is normally pretty good. Well, that makes us pretty much done with here. Just gotta kill these enemies, and then we'll head up a floor. Like I said, a lot of these floors will start to look familiar very quickly. So you'll be able to instantly kind of, sort of beeline to them, to the exits. I mean, you don't know where the exit is unless you have an exit eye. Which you shouldn't have. I think next floor we're going to use the Alka Ray. Just to see what's going on with it. At least until you get the hang of the RNG generator. Which I don't think it's an RNG generator. I mean, it is for, obviously, the items. But it's not for the floors. There's only a set number of floors. Or these floor types. Now, don't worry about the spell effects getting repetitive. There are certain ways to get them. And they get more fancy the higher spell tiers you get. Ah, there we go. Knew it was a good idea not to abandon it. There we go. We got a couple of pennies. Remember, we're shooting for 10 grand. 10 grand, or what was it, $500,000 to pave the roads? Among other things. A lot of things happen along the way with Nico's quest. A lot of very cool things. Okay, I'm not going to use it. Seeds, sand, wind gem, useless traps. Medi-herbs can be forgotten. Ah, yes, the way to add value to orbs. Very handy, because it's all on the number of uses. Mushroom. I think you have this cyclone. There you go. Ow. That's the problem with having allies follow directly behind, is That tends to be a problem. Well, we've got another Bronzio. Might as well see how it is. It is just basic. One thing I don't... It's a minor annoyance, is the fact that when you equip something, an item of some description, it doesn't tell you that it was the plus whatever or whatever. Plus, minus, whatever. Sadly. But that's a minor annoyance. How's everyone doing on MP? Okay, Octo's pretty low. Cyclone's actually very good. Do we have any Vitas? We've got a half seed. Might as well throw that at something. And once again, we are rapidly climbing the scale. Although I can imagine the PlayStation 1 would have a significantly more robust generator than the Game Boy Color. Ooh, a dub seed. If I recall, that's a double speed. That one's actually handy. That just doubles your speed. That means you attack twice. Useful for certain conditions, but not really useful for our current state. Oop, that one had something fall on its head. The mushroom. Well, with nothing else to do, let's move on and use that Alka Ray. And we are currently halfway to floor 10, so we're making progress. Or in our case, we're gonna pick up the orb, and then we're gonna use the Alka Ray. Because orbs, as I said, are the money generator. Orbs are what you pick up. Orbs are what you want. Otherwise, you just get to take more and more journeys inside. Level 5. Everyone is now level 5. That's pretty good progress. Yeah, that's pretty good progress for all the monsters we have. Now, it may seem a little contrived when I say that Cune will always be in our party, but the game kind of requires it for purposes. He kinda can never stay behind in the stable. Nor can you sell Cune, that's the other thing. You probably, would want to, in-game, be the sentimental reasons. Would be my guess. I mean, he was your father's. That would make as much sense as anything else. Octo has to be running very low on MP. Yeah, he's almost out. We're gonna have to swap him out for Cune. Which, fortunately, positions and AI is saved per collar as opposed to per monster, so it is what it is. Oh, Octo is now out. Well, buddy, it's been good. I did not want to put... I did want to put Cyclone away. I wanted to put Octo away. And bring out Cune. Just to make sure... No, it is actually saved on a per monster basis. Okay, the position is saved per color, but the AI is per monster. Okay. That makes as much sense as anything. This Frost is very bad at attacking. It hasn't even hit Cyclone once, I think. By the time I get into position, I have a feeling Cyclone will have murdered it. Yep. Nope, not quite. It was just about to. Had to have. Anyway, that's why wumps are useful for your basic elemental spells. Not much else. Although wumps are one of the few creatures to come in all varieties, all flavors. Got your red wumps, your red wumps, your blue wumps, your green wumps. Most enemies don't have that. Although I believe you can change Cune's element. Yes, you can change his element. I think through fusion, which gives you a minor different flavors. His sprite doesn't change, which most sprites will change colors if you change their element. Which there are artificial ways to do that as well. I mean, there are natural ways to do it, and then there's the artificial way. Mushroom gets to die. As does this eyeball, if we can... Either of these eyeballs, if we can get them to agree with us. Yeah, I don't know why the eyeballs can yell, but they're a little annoying like that. You're just a little behind the curve now, Cune. Going up, of course. And again, look at the color of his crystal. It is a clear crystal when everything else reflects their element. There's no telling who you might run into in the tower. Well, there's the exit. The whole tower. I'm not sure what I'm going on about, but the tower, yeah. This is... The tower is like, yeah, 100 floors. It's very standard by roguelites. 100 floors is normally accurate. Unless you were Tome back in the day. Tales of Middle-earth. Not the current version, sadly. The current version of that game is... It's but a shadow of its former self. It could be that it was probably a publishing company, or someone got a hold of them for direct Tolkien influences. Yeah, that tome back in the day. See if I can dig up. I thought I have the old version somewhere. For you guys, at least. Anyway, how'd I get on this topic of tome? Tales of Middle-earth. Yeah, it was a nice little roguelike set in the Middle-earth. It had a lot of interesting things. It had an overworld, which was very unusual for roguelike. So that was something I didn't get into until college, long after my days of playing this. This was late middle school, early high school, something like that. We're almost there. Once this run is finished, we'll call it for the day. And Trap Eye. Hasn't been a lot of good things, to be perfectly honest. There hasn't been a lot of items. Ah, yes, here we go, items. A Vit Seed, that would be handy for Octo. But notice that it only affects me, not everyone else, sadly. So Q&A, back into the bag. Octo. Poor Octo, he looks so deflated. Give him the vitamin seed. Now the sad thing is, I don't think it says how much is MP recovered. Okay, 50. That's the other way familiars can get lost, is you just outspeed them. Yeah, as the game pointed out earlier, yeah, you just go to the next floor and they'll catch up with you. Magic. Now these trolls, we've already seen hammer trolls, but there are 3 permutations of trolls. And it all depends on if they run into, well, if they're your troll, you throw a weapon at them and they catch it and then they equip it. Whereas enemy trolls, I think, just come in that set variety type. It's a little sad and a little annoying, to be perfectly honest. Well, that's enough of this silly floor. Floor 9. Still no people. That's good, I think. Now, remember when we got here the first time? Octo was helping us only deal 2 damage to the cyclones? Now it's significantly better. 12. That is the power of leveling your monsters. And this hammer troll apparently still thinks we're pretty weak. Well, let's show him, shall we, Cyclone? Okay, Cyclone, you're still pretty weak. Probably an elemental problem. Invoke the Shark Jaw! That's just an oil. They're not that handy. Although we did get an egg. Now, I know I mentioned that flames have a wind and ice version, but I believe they have their own unique names. I know they do for the ice versions. They become tundras. And I believe that tundras do not occur normally in the game. There are certain, very specific, elemental shifting items. So if you're going for a specific thing like a wind submarine, which is normally a water exclusive, you can. You could even make it a fire exclusive if you really wanted to. Come on, Cyclone. Ooh, poor Cyclone is not going to survive that if we don't intervene. And that is why humans are very handy to monster tamers. And, ooh, so close. You nearly killed him, Flame. Nearly got him. Not quite close enough. Another wind gem. Which is, actually, if you have an overabundance of wind gems, you can always throw them at a monster. And that will let you... basically an instant kill. An Elf Rain, those weren't worth that much. A Ray of some description. We're not gonna get to Balloon in time, I don't think. Nope. Cyclone is dead. Make sure the plan is appropriate. And there you go, one dead balloon. What kind of egg was that? Palsy. That's a handy one. What are you? A wind ray, not that useful. And one of those which is kind of useful. An elk seed, alex seed. Increases agility. Give that to an ally. Speed of Octo, star specs. That's just an elf rain. More wind gems. Oh, Cune is now a frog. Bronze sword. Ah, an iron song. That is the next level up sword. And sadly, it's cursed, which I don't... It's good. It's very good, actually. But I don't think we can remove it. Yeah, it's cursed. So we're kind of stuck with it, which, you know, I'm fine with, actually. What's this wind seed? Ah, yes. We could change someone to wind. What's this palsy? It's a noise egg. That's handy. Very handy. We're getting really powerful. Anyway, we'll explore floor 11. And return. And then we'll... Ah, the music has changed. Oh, yes. This is the boss floor. Hey, let's put up the sass. He deserves the sass. Haven't got time for that. Could be a boss floor. Could be, if you really wanted to. It's not a bad idea too either. Ooh, a monster egg, yes. Eggs. And what kind of egg is it? It's a floral design. Handy. There you go, Cune. There it is. There's a Subnar. That's the thing that makes them annoying, is that they can dive into the floor. Yeah, basically it was a high-level wind Submar. That was my favorite. Yeah, they have some nice spell animations. Or at least the wind version did. But I'll try not to use the same strategy as last time. That I used last time. Ooh, Pale Sand. That's very good. That'll pay for itself in dividends. What could I get rid of? What are these? Might as well. And that flame orb. Damares. I mean, you can see why they're kind of called that. They're a bit frightening looking. Gallops are another... Okay, they're the most frighteningly cute design of any of the enemies. Though they can inflict that. I don't recall if that's permanent or not. Yeah, it's permanent. It's permanent. Anyway, feathers are the items that you saw him use. Gosh use. Just lets you go to the next floor. Mediherb. What else do we have? And a Vit Seed. I only want to explore around on this floor, but I think we're fully explored at this point. Yeah, we're fully explored. Windjam away! Then we sell the items and see where we end up. Weedy is always happy to see you. Okay, what do we have monster-wise? We have a bloom. Let's put bloom in there. And then I believe we can warm it. This is a bloom. Take the bloom and make him a wind bloom. Or at least we could, if we take it into the tower. Oh yes, and one other thing. Always talk with her because she gives you a Vit Seed, and you always have an open slot because you used a Wind Gem. We are going to put... what do we want to put in here? Oh, nothing really. We're gonna put a couple of our monsters away. We're gonna put away Cune and Cyclone. So we have Octo and Bloom. Because again, we're gonna be making a Wind Bloom. I know there's a way to remove curses, and I do not recall what it is. Does it involve you? No. I'm here to sell. Is it an egg? Yes, indeed it is. I know there's a way to remove curses, I just do not recall where it is. It might be the lady up north. The fortune teller. Tell away. The result of a monster fusion. I swore there's a way to remove it. Bird! Just bird. Sorry, we're getting distracted. Hey, Nico. Yeah, we'll do that at some point. We definitely have to donate at some point. After all, how else was the place gonna get green? I'm here to sell. Both of those Bronzios are of okay-ish quality. Let's see what he has on hand. Rosewand, Swans, Florent. That's pretty good, actually. But we don't need it. It's just a shield. Nothing's dealing enough damage to be concerned about that. Although next time we meet Gosh on floor 10, that we might want to... we will beat his face in. Because he's a bit of a douche. Well, let's see what you have to buy. Yeah, you get to buy my stuff. Okay, we have Flame Orb, Flame Orb. We're halfway there to the house upgrade. And there's our 5 items for going in. Next time, we're gonna go save. I mean, it's not a bad idea. Help out with the fundraising. It never hurts. Right, mother. Save data. Please. And with that, folks, we will see you guys next time. This is Stomping Llama. See you next time.